Hello, Christopher, and hola, mi YouTube amigos.
KFC, por favor, to you as well.
KFC, por favor. Lunchroom Syndicate here with you for another Walking Dead episode, giving you our thoughts beforehand on episode 15 of season 11, Trust. And then we'll watch the episode and then give you our thoughts afterwards. Episode 15, Hornsby marches Daryl and troops to confront Maggie at Hilltop. After a harrowing heist, Rosita gets Connie, Kelly, Eugene, and Max to investigate the Miltons. Post-surgery, Ezekiel uses his new lease on life to help hospital patients in need. So what are you expecting here? Because there goes a couple of our thoughts. Right
there goes Ezekiel.
I get when that episode aired, both of us had the same instinct right away. He's not making it out of that surgery. Just not going to happen.
That makes too much sense.
And then after my rant last week, after they didn't kill Gabriel, I'm like, nobody's getting hurt. Nope. Fine. They're all surviving. And it's so not a big deal. It's right there in the teaser. It's right there in the description of the episode.
It really does lose some of its luster or something with this shit. But as far as this episode's concerned, I'm curious to see, first off, how Hornsby and them found out that it was Hilltop that helped. Very curious about that. Help at the river bend, because then they basically kill all the troops. I'm curious to know how that exactly worked out.
I don't know if that's necessarily what they're confronting Maggie about, because that's not how I took it. But then once you started saying that, I'm like, I definitely see that interpretation.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see where that goes. Nobody's gonna die, so why do I care, right? I didn't think we'd see Ezekiel until next episode, so I'm a little or hear about it. So I'm a little bit surprised we're gonna get in this episode. So
but, it was no big deal, apparently.
Yeah, it was no big deal. Just another lease on life. Who gives a shit, right? Way to drag that out for no fucking reason. We're going into this in a good mood. After last week's so episode, I'm hoping that we get a better one.
Yeah, well, we were kind of torn last week. My expectations for this episode, I'm going in with lower expectations than I was going into last week with. So hopefully some pleasant surprises here coming up. Let's go ahead and hit play and find out, and then join everybody again afterwards. What do you think about the episode?
Well, mysterious stranger, that's a great question. We just finished the penultimate episode of this second segment of the final season, and what a weird episode.
How so? I'm trying to be inconspicuous.
Well, you're doing a great job of it. The episode in a nutshell was just moved the plot along. There wasn't a whole lot to the episode. Ezekiel lived, shocker. You saw some new stuff, which was cool. The vet clinic, the outside. The episode itself isn't bad. I want to make that clear. It wasn't my favorite episode. It was a talking episode mainly. It wasn't a whole hell of a lot of action outside of a select few things. What's bothering me with the last few episodes, and really this episode, just another example of it, is these conveniences of timing and people, and maybe I'm just being too harsh, but I'm just annoyed by the just convenient storytelling plot points that are annoying me.
Well, I like this episode better than last week.
Agreed.
I'm just further into the feeling like there's no stakes in anything.
And if nothing happens in the what they call mid-season finale, but the segment 2 finale, yeah. I mean, why there's nothing. There's no stakes. Nobody's it's really lost that, and it's getting worse. And this last couple of episodes have kind of reminded me why I didn't really care to watch The Walking Dead after a bit. I mean, the episodes are better than they were, but it's just.
See, the thing is, you don't have to kill somebody for the stakes to be up there, but you can't have everybody surviving because they're about to die and then a noise happens off screen.
Mhm.
The most tense part of this episode was the appendectomy
Mhm.
for somebody we wouldn't know at all for any reason.
Mhm.
I didn't care.
Right.
Like it,
And in a lot of ways, like, so they showed the doctor struggling with a patient death, allegedly off screen, right? That's what he said. He was struggling with that, hence why they showed the booze and the pills or whatever. But wouldn't it have made sense then to have him fail with this too, and continue that downward spiral of him? All of a sudden, oh, we're good now. You just kind of threw away that aspect of it. I think it could have been more there, but because I mean, like, it sounds like he's like basically the only doctor around, like only surgeon around, which seems foolish for a lot of reasons. But
they randomly introduce this big struggle for him and they immediately fix it with no work. Like, why even have that in for this doctor that we don't know? Like why don't introduce the problem if it's just gonna fix itself with magic?
yeah, within the same episode, that bugs me. When in the first few episodes, the excitement kind of came back for me. I was like, okay, I'm down. I'm down for this season. I'm liking this. And the last few episodes have kind of been like, yeah, like you said, no stakes, and it's getting to the point where like I don't hold out a whole lot of hope or trust, ironically enough, not meaning that, no pun intended, of the writers and the showrunners and everything else to give me a good end of the show, because we have a lot of lazy storytelling in this segment from hands. It's a lot of like, oh, convenient, and we know Maggie's not gonna die next episode, so that's already shot in the foot.
Well, again, no one's going to.
Yeah, no,
Everyone's going to be fine.
everyone's gonna be fine.
I think the most interesting story that they're delving into right now is with Mercer.
Yeah.
A newer character, but we're really starting to get more with him, and him trying to toe both sides of the corrupt political and the potential coup and uprising, the resilient or the resistance. I think we all know which way he's going to end up.
Yeah.
But it's not like he just woke up in the morning and said, "Hey, let's start a resistance."
Right. Yeah, that's the best story they got going right now. That's the one that makes sense, the struggle. Like, why is the rest of the story so dumb? Not dumb, but just so bland. I guess that's the word I want to say.
I'm with his over the top as Pamela and Sebastian are.
Mhm.
They're mild in comparison to Hornsby. How is there anybody in the community that's not extremely suspicious of them? Like, how are they able to pull off anything? I mean, they basically have mustaches that they're just in here twirling up the entire time.
Yeah, see, I'm a bad guy. See, uh, I, I, I mean, there is. I guess if you're able to look past it a bit, you can be like, okay, well, this community, there's probably a lot of them who realize that, but it is the first, it's either deal with it and have this life of relative old world, as they're calling it, versus what the hilltop is, for example. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems they've definitely just made out Hornsby to be an absolute sociopath at this point. Sebastian's asshole. I think Sebastian the character makes sense, so I'm fine with how they're portraying him.
Yeah,
He's an asshole.
he can be over the top. Everybody's aware that he's a prick and nobody likes him that works for that character as long as there's trust in Pamela.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I'll say is there hasn't been enough interaction with Pamela and the Commonwealth for them to for us to get an idea of why they still trust her in that respect, I guess. But the only thing we've really seen was that masquerade ball or whatever, and that's really been the only interaction with the Commonwealth that we've seen outside of the lottery ticket drawing thing they had that at that parade or whatever.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot more with Hornsby, and that guy. I I have some thoughts that are left unsaid.
Next week, mid-season segment 2 finale, and we got Leah back, probably full bore now, at least for this episode. I don't think it's going to last more than this episode. Hey, that's just my little prediction. And we'll see what happens. We got the season finale or the mid-season finale. We got 9 more episodes of the series left, and we're in the middle of what is it? Ebb and flow. We're in the dip of an ebb and flow right now.
Well, my main concern with this next episode is what really makes sense for the Commonwealth is for there not to be another war, for there not to be a big battle between our group and another community, but rather setting that aside and trying to work through differences and coming up with a proper plan. Big spoilers from the comic book that Rick died for that. And that was the resolution to it, was Rick saying, hey, we can't, like, they're coming up and they're right on the brink. And then you get another Rick speech, classic Rick speech, that settles that down. And then that's when Sebastian kills Rick, and they're like, well, shit, we have gone way too fucking far. Here, they're just fucking fighting it out. Like, ooh, been there, done that. We need something different. You're supposed to be working towards a resolution. This whole series is supposed to be building towards something. Right now, I don't feel that it's coming to any kind of closure. And so I'm worried with that. Like, I know when the books ended, like, that left a big hole. Like, I followed that for a very long time, and that left a big hole, and I wasn't ready for it to end. But looking back, like, they told the stories that they needed to tell, and to not go that route, I think would have started to make the book worse. So while I didn't like to see it end, I appreciate that it did. I'm not seeing that with the show right now, and
Yeah, I'm with
Just
you.
hoping that I'm just hoping that we wrap this up appropriately. And I'm having my doubts right now.
I am too. I am too. And the only thing I can think of is they're setting up Daryl for the Rick death. And that's the only thing that maybe I can hang on to. But even then, I just don't know. Plus, they're gonna have Rick randomly come back just to die, which would be kind of hilarious, actually.
But again, we have the Daryl and Carol spinoff that we're supposed to be getting. So there goes that. So are they setting Aaron up for the Rick death? Like,
maybe.
Here's the other one-armed guy.
Is he the one that kind of has taken on the Rick role now? You said that. When you said that, I'm like, man, that actually makes sense.
No, he's not taking the Rick role because he's such like a bat character right
No, I know, but is that what the show's trying to pull though? It kind of feels that way. That you said that, it's like, man, maybe they are setting Aaron up for this. Again, I don't know if I agree with it. I think you need a bigger character than Aaron. Definitely not saying I like Aaron, but that's not going to hit home like if it was Daryl or Maggie or Negan or even Rick if he came back.
Yeah, no, and again, no disrespect towards that character.
No.
Not a a main character, but it's not a key character.
No, there's 4 major characters in this series. Rick, who hasn't been around for a while, Negan, Maggie, and Daryl.
Well,
everyone else is
you can take out Negan and put in Carol.
Yeah, fair. So, well, if you want to go that route, that's fair too. But either way, I think they're close. But yeah, it's just I don't know. That's the way you said that makes me think that maybe that's the route they're going. That's a cat ass.
It could be the route that we don't get anything because right now, again, I'm leaning towards we're not going to have any kind of satisfying closure with it because they're going to try to leave things more open-ended for more spin-offs. And I hope, and I very much hope that I am very wrong with that. I've been wrong about a lot of things here in this segment. I hope that's another one.
Me too. But
we will be finding out and we'll be getting some more answers and probably a lot more questions coming up next week for the segment finale. So let us know what you thought of this episode and our comments on it and keep that discussion going. Yeah, why not like the video? Do us a solid here. But until next week, again, thank you for joining us and deuces.